Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. This video's been a long time coming. It's a bit far-fetched, bit of a long shot, probably not going to happen, but I wanted to get it out there, and you never know, man, nothing's impossible. Here we go. So I love Michael Myers, Halloween, the original movie. I like the 2018 film a lot as well, and you know, some of the films I haven't even seen, but that original 1978 Halloween film is an absolute classic. And I love the company Rockstar, you know, Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption, The Warriors. Very much a passion project, and they put their heart and soul into that one. It was a fantastic game, still is. I have it on my PS4. Now, obviously, it's very hypothetical. You know, this is, I don't want people, you know, watching this video thinking this is actually something that's happening. I wish it was. But I would love Rockstar to do a passion project and make a game, you know, for Halloween 1978. And I've written down a lot of points here, a lot of things that I wish were in that game, just how I think it should be, you know, kind of presented, at least the first half of the game anyway. I don't think it would be a full price AAA kind of release. I think this would be more of a, you know, just a passion project. Basically, Rockstar could recreate Haddonfield, and, you know, it wouldn't be the hugest map in the world. We're not talking anything like Red Dead 2 or anything like that, but a nice little map for Haddonfield that you can walk around. So I'm just going to go through all my points here, and you guys can look at the images that are on the screen. They are from photography that I've done with custom 1/6 scale Michael Myers figures in my collection. That's what I usually do on this channel here. I have a lot of 1/6 scale figures. Many of them are custom made, not something that you can buy online or in a store or anything like that. They are 100% made from scratch by artists. So you're going to be looking at images of those while I talk about this. So just try and use your imagination and kind of picture what I'm saying as I'm saying it. So the game, this hypothetical game made by Rockstar Games, would start with a black screen fading into the white text on the screen that would say October 30th, 1978, and then the title of this kind of prologue or intro to the game that comes up fading in from black. White text on the screen says become the shape. Then we fade into a scene where Michael Myers is standing you know, somewhere. He's obviously just escaped from the Haddonfield mental hospital, and he's wearing his white kind of, you know, gear that you see him wearing in the beginning of the 2018 film. So he's obviously just escaped. We don't have to actually do the escape ourselves. I think it's better if it just, you know, says October 30th, 1978, and then it comes up on the screen, become the shape, and then it fades into Michael Myers standing there in his, you know, asylum white clothing, and you have obviously escaped, and now you have your first mission, which is to collect 3 separate items. And what I would really like is for there to be no mini-map on the screen. You can pause the game and look at the map and see where these items are more than likely going to be, but I don't want it to hold my hand and, you know, make it very obvious where I'm supposed to go. I mean, I think it would just be better. I mean, we're not stupid. We know that, okay, we're Michael Myers. We haven't got our coveralls yet. We haven't got our mask yet. We haven't got our weapons yet. So that's obviously priority number 1 for Mikey. You can pause the game. You can see where the hardware store is, where there's a mechanic, you know. And I think in the film he found the rope, the knives, and the mask all in the one place in the hardware store. So that would be a little bit too easy for the video game. So I think you'd have to get your coveralls from, obviously, find a mechanic, find a garage somewhere. There's a couple of them on the map. And I don't want it to hold my hand. I want to go looking for those things. All the while, quite a subtle, not too heavy presence of police that are looking for you because they know you've escaped. It's 1978. There's no internet. There's no mobile phones. And the police force is kind of stretched out, a bit limited. But they are around. And obviously, there's no mini-map, like I said, on the screen holding your hand, telling you where to go and what's around you. So you'd have to keep your ears open for the police sirens in the distance getting closer, and you'd have to watch out for the red and blue lights kind of flashing in the distance. Once you see that, it's time for you to kind of duck into an alleyway or go into someone's back garden and kind of just hide behind a tree and wait for them to pass by. Now, Michael Myers can't run, or he can run, but I don't want him to run, you know. So when you push forward on the stick and you move, Michael Myers, he walks just in his typical kind of slow, not too slow, not annoyingly slow, but just slow enough so that he's that kind of, you know, Michael Myers walk. And if you press X like you would in GTA or Red Dead and they burst into a sprint, instead of bursting into a sprint, he just walks faster. So that's the way I think it should be. Michael Myers shouldn't run. We've got the coveralls. That's one thing you need to go find in this kind of prologue section of the game, and it's kind of dusk in this bit. I don't want it to be nighttime yet because I want to save that for later. So this prologue, this kind of opening mission, it's not bright daylight, it's not nighttime, it's kind of like just that kind of light blue kind of dusk. It's getting dark, but it doesn't have a day and night cycle. It will just stay dusk for this intro mission. So finally track down a mechanic, a garage, and let's say there's 1 or 2 different mechanics working there. You know, depending on how they want to go about it, I think it would be better if you kind of have to wait for your moment, like in a Hitman game or something, where the mechanic's working on the car, then he goes and, you know, maybe takes a bathroom break or goes to the vending machine, or, you know, probably the bathroom would be a good one, because just like the bathroom in 2018 with the 2 British bloggers who go in there, he could go in there and then you could follow him in, take him out, and get your coveralls. And now it's time to go track down the iconic mask and that knife. You can pick up other weapons as well, but we'll get to that in a minute. Even though in the film it was found in the same location as the weapons, I think the mask should be maybe in a costume shop in the game, you know, 3 separate locations. We don't want to make it too easy, and we want you to be able to explore. And remember, this intro mission, the one taking place at dusk, you're still in your mental asylum gear. The police presence is there, but it's not too heavy, so we're easing you into this world where you can kind of navigate and get used to being in the skin of this, you know, the shape. You know, once you get your coveralls, the knife, and the mask, once you get the final item, we cut to like a nice, not too long, but just a nice little cutscene, maybe even directed by John Carpenter himself, with the iconic music, and you finally are complete. You've got your coveralls, the knife, the mask. You are Michael Myers now. Then we fade to black, and then the white text on the screen. Now this is the real game kicking in now. It just comes up on the screen in white text, October 31st, Halloween. And now we are Michael Myers. Rockstar go all out with this. You know, it's Halloween night. They go all out. It's 1978. The atmosphere, the look of this game is incredible. You've got autumn leaves on the street blowing in the wind, the sound of the leaves blowing, jack-o'-lanterns lit up everywhere, man. Really, just on every porch. Well, not every porch, but most porches, most houses at the front of the house and in the windows. They all have the jack-o'-lanterns. Really great Halloween atmosphere. Use that kind of 80s kind of synth, just single notes, just rumbling underneath, you know, not too intrusive, but just keeping that atmosphere constant. Just looking at my notes again, all the buildings, all the houses are pretty much, you know, you pretty much go in any house. Not all of them, because, you know, that would be a little bit unrealistic for the developers to make every single house enterable. But I think enterable, is that a word? Enterable? But I think most houses you should be able to get in. I think the game should have a photo mode. I love photo mode in games. Maybe even a director mode, so that you can actually make your own short little mini films like you could in Grand Theft Auto 5. They haven't put that into Red Dead Redemption 2 yet, but I think they should. I love photo mode and I love director modes. It's absolutely fantastic. I had weeks of fun with the director mode in GTA 5. Here's a big one. I don't want any of that being able to see through walls BS. I don't want Michael Myers to be in a house and be able to see through the wall at the person sitting watching TV. I want you to have to use your brain, listen, and you know, just look for signs of movement and stuff like that. Because Michael Myers can't run, or won't be running in this game, I want there to be, because I noticed when I'm playing Friday the 13th and I'm in control of Jason, it's a little bit frustrating, because as soon as someone sees you coming, they scream and they run away and they get away from you, basically, and you have to depend on bad AI to run into a wall and get stuck, and then you can take them out. So I think when you're sneaking around as Michael Myers in one of these houses, I think that as long as you catch the NPC by surprise, as long as, you know, if they turn around, they say they're in the kitchen, they've opened up their fridge, they're getting a meal or whatever, and you're standing behind them, they close the fridge, they turn around, boom, you're in front of them, they scream and they freeze for about 3 or 4 seconds because they're in shock. So that gives you your chance to grab them, and then you can, you know, like in Friday the 13th, you can kind of grab them, pull them over for a few seconds, you get, you know, before they struggle free, you can pull them over to a certain point in the house where, you know, it will trigger a kind of cool cutscene death thing, like in Friday the 13th. And I just think that will make it a bit more fair for you, because, you know, like I say, you're not going to be running around, you have to walk everywhere. So as long as you catch them by surprise and they're on their own, then you have a great opportunity to take care of business in that Michael Myers fashion. You can pick up things that you find around. You don't want to. I want to stick to weapons that we've seen Michael use in the films. So obviously knives, hammers, maybe screwdrivers. This sounds horrible saying this, but come on, we got to talk about it. Now, the Haddonfield map, I think, you know, as small as it will be, because I want it to be realistic. I want something that actually could happen. The only problem with this is copyright for the actual mask, the Captain Kirk mask. I know William Shatner isn't too keen on people using that likeness, and that's caused some problems with action figures and stuff. So maybe because the game, I want it to be set in 1978, so you would want the 1978 mask. So I mean, Rockstar, they've got the money, man. They could make that happen, but if not, then at least make it look close as you can, you know, to that 78 mask. Maybe you can unlock, even though this game is still going to be based in 1978, you can possibly unlock the 2018 mask that you can wear and the coveralls and just be the kind of James Drew Courtney Michael Myers if you want to, because I would certainly like the option to be able to be the, you know, the Nick Castle classic shape or the James Drew Courtney shape. But I think the map should include a hospital, a cemetery, a police station, large residential area, Haddonfield High School, but I don't think you should be able to enter the high school. Obviously, that would be unacceptable, you know, especially today, day and age. So I think you should be able to see the school from outside, but definitely not be able to enter the grounds at all. I love the idea. I can see it in my head so clearly. I can kind of see how the graphics would look. I mean, really, Rockstar are fantastic at creating worlds that live and breathe, and to be able to, you know, go back in a video game to 1978 Haddonfield and be the shape. Third person, obviously. I don't want first person. Although if it's Rockstar, they probably give you the option, which would be amazing, because if you could click the right stick and you go into first person mode and you get that kind of looking through the mask kind of view where you kind of get the two holes that you can see through. Obviously, we want the vision to be good. You want to be able to see everything just like in normal first person, but maybe just have that kind of black shadowing around the edges of the screen to kind of make it look like you're wearing the mask. And obviously when you go into first person, you hear the breathing. Wow. Oh man, that would be amazing. Get Nick Castle to do the breathing for the game as well. So that's all my notes. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say. I think I've pretty much said everything. I'm sure more ideas will come to me once I've uploaded this video, and I'll be kicking myself for not waiting a bit longer and, you know, fleshing things out a bit more. As far as people sitting there right now listening to this thinking, yeah, but what's the point of the game? Well, because it's a kind of lower budget game, or a lower priced game, like £30 when it's released, it's not a full-on massive story kind of, you know, beginning, middle and end character arc kind of situation. This is just giving the millions of Michael Myers and Halloween fans out there the chance to be the shape and go to Haddonfield and just do what Michael Myers does. And you can do plenty worse things. I mean, as much as Michael Myers is going to be able to use the knife, use the hammer on folks, and that's pretty gruesome, you could do much worse things in like Red Dead Redemption 2. So I think, you know, in the long scheme of things, and plus in 1978's Halloween, there's no blood. So they could keep with that. If they want to try and keep the people at bay as far as kicking off about a Halloween game and the violence and stuff, they could stick to that 1978 thing and not have any blood. I would prefer blood, but they could stick to that, and there would be a good reason, because of obviously, you know, 1978, there was no blood in the game. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much everything. But as far as, yeah, the main point of the game is just to be Michael Myers and just set you free. Once you do that intro mission and you gather your bits and pieces to become the shape, then, you know, you have Halloween night, and it's just constantly nighttime. It's constantly Halloween. It's a pretty significantly large map with, like I said, a hospital, cemetery, police station, large residential area, the Haddonfield High School, which again, you can't enter that one, but you can enter the hospital. That would be amazing. You can go into the police station if you really want to try your luck, but obviously you'll be shot very quickly. That could be, oh well, would Loomis be in the game? You know, they could get a sound alike like they did with 2018. That was, I think it was a comedian who actually did the Loomis voice, but that could happen. You could have, you might not see Loomis, but I don't know how Michael Myers would be able to hear the police radio conversations, but somehow that, if they could make that possible, that would be cool. You'd have to have babysitters in the game, which would mean there'd have to be, you know, children in the game. But obviously, I mean, we've seen Michael Myers sort of leave kids alone. So basically, when there are kids running around trick-or-treating, you can't hurt them. You know, it's like in certain games when there are characters that you're interacting with and they're with you as part of a team, you can't shoot them. It just won't let you. So that's how that should be in the game. You can't lock onto someone. You can't swipe with your knife at anyone under a certain age. I don't need to worry about having Laurie Strode in this game. They could maybe work in some kind of little Easter egg or something, but I'm not concerned about Jamie Lee Curtis or Laurie Strode being in this game. That would just add to the complications of having it made in the first place. But it would be nice to maybe hear Loomis sound alike do some, maybe he's out there with the police looking for you with the cops, and you can hear him with the police as they're talking about things that you've just done or places you've just been. But I just love the idea of like walking down a street in Haddonfield. You've done something bad as Michael Myers, and you can hear the police in the distance. You can see the red and blue lights coming over the horizon. You don't run, but you've got enough time because you can see them in the distance to just look to the left or right. There's a back garden I can walk into, or here's an alleyway that I can duck into. The police will go by, and then I can carry on about my business. After the success of Friday the 13th, the game, a lot of people, including myself, whenever I'm playing that Friday the 13th game, I'm wishing that it was actually a Michael Myers game. I know there is a game called Dead by Daylight, I think, which I'm not too keen on because it's an online situation and it's first person. I just, it's nice that it's out there, but I haven't played it. I'm just not really too interested in that particular one. But I would love a Michael Myers game. So I think Rockstar would be my perfect choice to do that. I'm sure people out there have other ideas about companies that could make the game. Should Michael Myers be able to drive a car? Well, he could in 1978, so why not? Why not have Michael Myers be able to smash a window, or get into a car and drive around just to make traveling around a bit easier? Absolutely. I'm glad I thought of that before I wrapped up the video. So yeah, let me know your thoughts, guys. Please share this video with anyone you think might be interested in. If you have any connections to Rockstar, please get this video to them. You never know, man. Nothing's impossible. It could happen. I would love it to happen. I'm thinking of games like The Warriors that Rockstar made. It was definitely an incredible game. I love it. I still love it today. A great passion project. They put their heart and soul into it, and they nailed it. They let you, it was like a prologue or like a prequel to the movie, but then halfway through the game, you actually get to play the movie. It's incredible. So yeah, let me know your thoughts, guys. Like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Plenty of cool stuff like this, especially if you're a Halloween fan. Got a lot of content on the channel. So yeah, subscribe, hit the bell icon, check me out on Instagram and Facebook at DKnight333, and you can click the link underneath this video and become a Patreon for $1 a month if you so wish. It would certainly help this channel survive, especially with things that are going to be changing on YouTube very soon. We could all be, it could be grim times ahead. So any help from the community out there for this channel would be greatly appreciated. Link in the description. All right, guys, thank you for listening, and thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Bye-bye.